Today is the first Monday we celebrate during Lent. Today we celebrate the chair of St. Peter, and it's actually a feast day. So whether we have the argument what we're able to do or not do on Sundays of Lent, it is true that on feast days and solemnities, or the church does say that we should relax at least our penances. So I would say not to give up your penance today, but how can I slightly relax it? How can I live today like it's not a total day of penance, right? It's still during the Lenten season, but it's also feast day in the church. Today we celebrate the feast day of the chair of St. Peter. I love being Catholic. I really do. We have days where we celebrate church buildings, and we have days where we celebrate saints, and days where we celebrate chairs. Today is one of those days. We celebrate the chair of St. Peter. Ultimately, we celebrate the power and the authority that the Pope has through St. Peter, through the apostolic succession of St. Peter. So we could talk of Pope Francis and what power and authority he really has, but I don't think you really need that right now during Lent. Let's talk about our power and our authority, right? How do we get power and authority? Sometimes it's from claiming it, right? I've met many of leaders who walk in and just start claiming things, right? And the way they treat people is very, very poorly, so they can claim authority over them and make people feel obligated to do what they want and whatnot. I would say they're bad leaders, right? They might have the power, but in all reality, they probably actually don't have authority. I don't actually care what they think. And when they tell me to do something, I do it out of obedience, but outside of that, I don't care what they think. Right? How is it that we gain authority and the power? Is we live a life worthy of people following us. What's the nature? What's the bare essentials for a leader? You have followers. Right? What's a good leader? One who has loyal followers. Right? We're all called to leadership in some way, shape, or form. Whether it's the parent of a house, for each other as spouses, right? Priests at a parish, leaders in your classroom, both as a teacher but also just as a good kid, right? We're all called to leadership in some way, shape, or form. How do I treat others? Right? If I treat others, I might have the power of the leader, but depending on how I treat others is probably the authority that I have. So as we celebrate the chair of St. Peter today, and ultimately that we're all called to be leaders in the church, let's ask ourselves, how am I being a true leader? Do I have authority because I'm living a life that people can respect and want to follow? Or am I just claiming leadership? Live a life worthy of a good leader, and people have a reason to follow you. That's why I think Lent's so important. 40 days of possibility. How can I become better? God bless you, and happy feast day.